back again with another video, and today is PEL Season 5 Week 8. Now, unlike in PPA, there is actually 10 regular season weeks in PEL. Fortunately, or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, my Week 10 matchup is someone who dropped late into the season and couldn't possibly get into playoffs, so they just gave everyone who faced that coach from there on out a forfeit win. So there's actually not going to be a video for week 10. It's just going to be week 9 to the playoff, straight to the playoffs, assuming I get there. I have a very good chance because even though it says 5-2 down at the bottom, I am actually technically 6-2 plus 16, which I believe locks me for playoffs. But I'm not going to put it down there until it's official. Just because I don't want people to get confused. Today we are playing Coach IGPA Atinla and the Houston Blast Oilers. Now, they're hovering around 500, not the world's greatest differential, but you look at this team, and if you underestimate this, it's Jover, man. This feels like a trap game, if I'm being honest. Mainly because that second mon right there, Tera Manaphy is such a demon. Obviously, if you've played any Gen 9 from home, Gen 9 home, like DLC 1, I forget which one it was. This thing gets Take Heart, which is essentially Calm Mind and Refresh mashed together, as well as it's still getting Tail Glow. Access to Tera means it can set up a couple times and goob your entire team. It also gets Stored Power, which I believe is new, as well as Acid Armor, which I'm not quite sure if that's new or not. But yeah, point is, this thing's a demon. Not to mention, there's also a Garchomp, which is one of the scariest mons in draft, just because it's so good at everything and you don't know what it's going to be week to week. And then following that, there's a Heatran, Weavile, Terraflorgus, which is also incredibly scary as it can run Calm Mind sets with Terra Ground or Terra Fire, as well as just being one of the better Wish Passers in the game. Next, there's a Moltres, a Weezing, a Rotomote, an Ogerpon Cornerstone, and a Metachamp. So the team is incredibly threatening, great momentum, or at least good enough momentum, as well as threats across the board. I didn't know where to start. However, I did notice that the Weavile matchup, while it was fine, it didn't look the best. So I decided to take a gambit this week. I decided to go with my first real heat set in a while. I guess the Soak set was like Soak Bellbolt set was like kind of heat, but this is a heat of fajita, certified agency classic. Actually, not sure if it is or not, but it's a silly little guy. This is Sword Stance, Agility, Gligar, max attack, enough speed to outspeed a +1 Ogerpon in case it gets a Trailblaze off. Other than that, I just put the rest in HP. Sword Stance, Agility, Earthquake, Stone Edge. Stone Edge is there because of the Moltres and the Rotomo. And Weezing, I'm not sure which ability it's going to be if it gets brought, but I don't love the matchup into me. So I'm praying that at least one of Weezing, Moltres, and Rotomo do not get brought, so I can just Earthquake spam. It's holding the Eviolite to be even more bulkier. This thing can do it all. It can set up, hit hard, tank hits if it needs to. Can't get toxic by stuff like Weezing. It just feels like a really great matchup to pull up something I haven't had the chance to. I think this is prime for a goobing. Next, we have something that can check Manaphy because I don't have very many of those on my team. I have the Manaphy Stopper, which is my Azumarill Terra Water Sap Sipper Max Spadef in case it's a um, what's it called? In case it's a Tail Glow set. Um, Draining Kiss, Whirlpool, Parasong, Scald. Yeah, the whole idea is to get a Whirlpool up, click Parasong, and just heal myself up with Draining Kiss and leftovers. And if it tears into something weird, I can just Scald it. Sap Sipper is there because barring no Terra Electric or Terra Poison, mainly Terra Electric, Sap Sipper Azu can easily stop this and at least make it switch out. Terra Water, just because I felt like it was the best. Terra Ground was also good in case it is a Terra Electric Manaphy, which if it's Terra Electric Manaphy, then I kind of just feel like I lose. It's a pretty bad matchup. Next, I have my dedicated lead. I couldn't decide what Iron Bundle set I wanted. I was leaning towards Speed Booster Encore for stuff like, I don't even know, or at least just Encore, like Specs Encore Heavy Duty Boots, mainly for Manaphy. I said, screw that, and just threw on a Focus Sash, and I'm going to make it my lead, because he doesn't really have a great switch into this thing, as most teams don't. And then if he leads Ogerpon, I can just flip turn out, break the Sturdy, and go into something that can take it on. Yeah, just enough speed to outspeed Weavile, and then the rest of HP, which is probably not going to get needed. You know, the same three moves: Hydro Pump, Flip Turn, Ice Beam, or Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Freeze Dry, and you already know what this thing does. Next, we have my Brain Rot Slow Pivot, because how could Gen 9 survive without any of these? I mean, am I right? Any slow pivots is Gen 9 staple. So I decided to go with my boy, Young Base Lord. I'm not talking about CTC. I'm talking about Belly Bolt. And this week it's Shukaberry with mixed defenses with Toxic, Volt Switch, Slack Off, Soak. Soak is there because I didn't really have a great fourth move. This was originally AV with Parabolic Charge, Acid Spray, Volt Switch, Muddy Water, I believe, or something of that nature for Manaphy. But I figure if he tears and sets up a Tail Glow or two, it's Jover. So I decided to just rock with more standard set. Toxic is there for stuff like Rotom, Garchomp that would love to come in on this guy. But yeah, I'm probably just going to be clicking Volt Switch the whole time, because that's what this thing does. Okay, so next we have Big Presh, which is my Cinderace with heavy duty boots. I went with Blaze because I did not want my Cinderace getting burnt by a Flame Body, Heatran, or Moltres, which is very important to me. And because Cinderace really does put big pressure on his entire team. Powerballs don't have a great switch in, and even if they do, like Moltres or Garchomp, I can U-turn out. Taunt is there for Manaphy because I know he will want to sit Manaphy straight up against the Cinderace and press some setup moves, so I can taunt into U-turn, chip it out, go into my Azu or my Belly Bolt or something. And yeah, it's just enough speed to outspeed Ogerpon, if I remember correctly, as well as max attack, just because Pirate Ball has so few switch-ins. And then, yeah, this thing's really just going to be clicking U-turn as well as Pirate Ball, and that's what it needs to do. And then finally, we have my late game cleaner. DJ Khaled, aptly named because every time he comes in, another one is claimed. Yes, I know, I'm very creative. It's Rusted Shield as always. It's Max Attack, Max Speed Jolly. It's not supposed to be max speed, but fuck it. I mean, it's supposed to be outspeeding Levi, which is, I mean, it's essentially max speed, right? PAL, Stone Edge, Close Combat Facade, weird little set. But I figured with Heatran and Moltres, me having Stone Edge and Facade, even Wheezing, which likes it coming on this, if I have Facade, I'm able to clean more even if I get burnt by like a Rotom or a Wheezing or his two Flame Body mods. It allows me to still not be out of the game. Then How's just it's just there because yeah, it can give me a +1 boost. I didn't really need anything else. Psychic Feints would be nice for the Wheezing. But yeah, I mean, this thing is going to goob. So, jsauce vs. IGPA Attila, Week 8. Here's the battle. Okay, so the first things I immediately see, no Heatran, huge. No Weavile, huge. No Wheezing, huge. This feels like a very favorable matchup now, outside of Manaphy, because, yeah, I can deal with it. So I lead off with Iron Bundle, like I talked about. It's my deck. The least Florges, Ice Flip, turn out, get some chip. As I go Cinderace, because it's my best option, because of Moonblast. And I believe I U-turn here, though I'm not sure. Yep, I just U-turn out. Rough Skin. No Rocky Helmet. Go back into my Iron Bundle. Ice Click. Ice Beam, I believe. Yep. Does 92. And the way he brought this Rotom in made me feel like it's Scarf. And even though I'm Sash on Iron Bundle, right, and I take it, I really don't want to trade my Iron Bundle for a Rotom Mow. It just feels like a bad trade, because especially since Sash isn't broken. Sure, he has Ogerpon and Garchomp, but if I can keep hazards off the field, which, spoiler alert, I can't this week, Iron Bundle's gonna have a fun time. So I just go my Belly Bolt, Assy Volt switch out, good play, goes into Ogerpon, and I believe I Volt switch out. So yeah, now my Iron Bundle Sash is broken, which is sad. But I go into Gligar. I reveal my hand a little early because with Rotom being so low, I feel like I could break with my Gligar and clean up with something like Zama, Cinderace, or Iron Bundle. So I reveal my tactic, I Sword Stance up, and I get Encored. I didn't even know Ogerpon had Encore, but that's so annoying. Hazards are going up, so I go Zamazenta Crown. As he U-turns, great play. And then he goes Moltres. Little does he know, I have Stone Edge. It hits, and it lives on 2, but he U-turns out, which is huge. Goes into Garchomp. Now I could be carrying Ice Fang. I just Close Combat, do 57. I don't care that I died to an Earthquake, because Chip on Garchomp is so nice. As I just go into my Cinderace, which I don't really know why. I don't know why I went Cinderace over Iron Bundle. I guess I was fearing a potential... No, because if I was fearing a potential Scarf for one, then I guess I was confident, huh? Yeah, so I was confident at Pyro Ball killing, which I believe I read the calc for. Reviewing this a little late. He does go Manaphy. I taunt it like I believed he'd do. Reveals that he's Take Heart and not Tail Glow, which is nice. As I go into my Azu as my Manaphy stopper, Tera Blast. Yeah, I don't really know what he wants to do here. Reveals he is Tera Electric. Tera Blasts up. I do Whirlpool. Yeah. As his taunt does end, so I go Gligar on a second one. as he does take heart. It's a very scary situation. But he reveals Terraplast. Like he clicked it normally on my Cinderace, which makes me believe that this isn't a water move that could have an ice move for Gligar. But if it does it, if it's something like Rest Talk or even Stored Power, he doesn't want to stay in here if he doesn't have an ice move. And even if he does, he can be scared of me living. You can't risk losing your win con like this, so he does go Rotom-Mow. As I Earthquake, because I was scared of that Manaphy, I switch into my Azu, sack it. As he clicks Will-O-Wisp, wow. So, reveals if he is Scarf, that it is not for attack sprite. Trick, Leaf Storm. He goes into Florius, wishes up. I Whirlpool because I figured, I don't know how trapping works or Baton Pass works with Whirlpool, so I stay and I Perish Song in case anything goofy wanted to happen. Now, me living actually makes him have to switch the next turn because Perish Song is going to go to 1 after that wish. So yeah, he just kills me with Moonblast. Now Perish Song is at 1, which means my Gligar has a free agility. Agility over Sword Stance, so Rotom can't outspeed me, and so Ogerpon cannot Encore me. As Ice Earthquake here does 46. Ivy Control does way too damn much. 42 is a lot. But Ice Earthquake here goes into Florges. Earthquake. Moonblast does 40. And I Earthquake again on a Wish. And I Sword Stance on Protect, which, yes, you may argue if he clicked Moonblast, it's not game losing, but it's a very, very bad situation for me. However, I knew Florges goobed my Belly Bolt and my Iron Bundle, so I kind of had to take that risk knowing that Florges was so important to my opponent's team. I Sword Stance up and leave that game for there. I think that's like 4 straight kills for Gligar to end it off. Goes into Rotom-Mow on an Earthquake, thinking maybe he can outspeed. Actually just wants to switch out, maybe get Rough Skin if I wasn't Stone Edge. He probably thought it was dual Wing Beat last, which means I was originally, but I'm like, yo, he's got 2 Flame Body Mons and a Rough Skin Mon. Dual Wing Beat is ass. So I didn't run it. I ran Stone Edge as well as so I can Oko the Moltres, hopefully. But yep, I hit Stone Edge, and that's essentially the game. Florges comes in, dies to an Earthquake. And then Manaphy has the same fate. Who knew that Sword Stance Agility Gligar would be the anti-meta, if that makes sense. Like, sometimes you see this on Gliscor, just to be like Mimi, just be like, oh, look at me, I'm not your average Gliscor. I don't think I've ever seen it on Gligar, at least not in a very long time, and I'm glad it put in the work even without Tera. But yes, that is all for today. We do move up to 6-2, technically 7-2, with good differential. Not worried about playoffs. I am going to deliver you a heater of a video next week. Just trust. It's going to be against my good friend Arian. And yeah, we're going to goob his ass. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.